Yes, Aunt Jessie?
It's late.
I was out to Blackwater. It's near time for hunting.
Did you hear anything from the railroad?
I'll be on layoff for another 3 weeks. Why, you worried about your room rent?
Come here, Daniel. A man needs something to keep him busy. Keep him out of mischief. I guess I don't know very much about boys, Daniel. Ever since Grandma sent you to me from the hills to go to school, I've tried my best, but now it isn't good for you never to have known your own pa and ma.
Why don't you say it? About Pa shooting a man and getting hung for it.
That's something I've never talked about.
What are you trying to say, Aunt Jessie?
Jimmy Biff's father spoke to me after church tonight. He said the car last night was your fault. Yours and that school teacher's.
What about her?
She can't handle young people a little better than that. Why, she wouldn't make a very good school teacher. I know you're not a bad boy, Daniel. In spite of what happened a long time ago, there's never been a drop of bad blood in our family. You couldn't help but be a good boy. That's what I told Walter Biff.
That was right nice of you, Aunt Jessie.
After this, let's talk together a little more often, huh?
We'll talk.
Kiss me goodnight, Daniel.
Gilly. Gilly. You all right?
I'm all right.
You don't sound very happy.
Should I be? I called Julie's house this morning. Her mother wouldn't talk to me.
Well, the kids are okay. Doc says it's just shock.
Everybody's blaming me for the wreck. I'm a school teacher and I let it happen.
Anybody can have an accident.
An accident? Are you always like that when you're drunk?
Like what?
Like you had nothing but hate in you.
You were scared.
It was as though you wanted to kill yourself, kill all of us.
Gilly, people should understand each other. Especially when parties are in love.
In love? You're out of your mind.
What was between you and Jerry Sykes?
I don't think that's any of your business.
The way I figured, you're just a girl from the sticks. You worked a little harder than anybody else, and you went to college. Now you're looking for someone like Jerry.
Jerry's the nicest boy I've ever known. Last night he asked me to marry him.
And you said yes.
Of course I said yes. And because I went home with you, he hasn't called me today.
Good evening, young folks.
Good evening, Miss Simpkins.
Didn't expect to see you up and about, Daniel.
I'm all right, I reckon.
Try to come to church next Sunday, Daniel. It'll do you a heap more good than those dances at Brothers Pond.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Gilly. Gilly, I'm going to sit on the porch with you for a while. Last night I kissed you.
Dan, please go. Don't touch me. Don't you see or care? If this goes on, I'll lose my job.
Is that all you're afraid of?
Dan, let go. Dan, let go.
Gilly. Gilly.
Dan, what am I
Gilly.
going to do?
This is all I want. You were the devil with everything else. Gilly. Gilly. It was to make you happy, not to hurt you.
What am I going to tell Jerry? What am I going to tell Jerry?
Maybe Jerry's tearing off a hot riff down there in Richmond, trying to date up some mouse, you know?
Maybe. Why all the phony jive?
Heck, I ain't no square, you know? Hi, Danny.
Hi, Elmer.
Hello, Hawkins. You all right?
Why not? Cup of coffee, Elmer.
Doggone, that gas is me. Wrecked like that and not even a scratch. And to top the break, Jerry Sykes takes a powder. Man, the town's real gone, you know?
What about Jerry Sykes?
Ask Ken. He drove his car home after the hop.
Danny don't care. I bet you'd be happy if he never showed.
Why don't you mind your own business?
Shh, stash the yap. Morning, Mr. Sykes. What can I do for you?
Where are the papers?
Well, the dispatch ain't come in yet. Probably be in on a 10:10, you know?
Say, Williams,
Yes, sir?
heard anything?
No, sir, Mr. Sykes, I haven't.
That Jerry Sykes, he's a natural drag, you know?
Tell me, Jerry had a beef with Gilly Saturday night before he beat it. Kind of all of that corn liquor he was soaking up.
Yeah? How was it you was able to latch onto that mouse, Danny?
Maybe she got tired of waiting.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen the kind that folds? Want to go down to Brothers Pond with me, Hawkins? Gonna try dragging the pond.
I reckon not.
I reckon. When are you gonna stop talking like a hillbilly, Hawkins?
Ah, he's nothing but a hinky square. You gonna dig that county fair, Danny?
I might.
You know that Jerry Sykes, strictly a sticky icky. Remember the time he trimmed you down behind the schoolhouse? Acting like 'cause his old man was J.B. Sykes, giving more rights than other guys. You know, I never did dig that. Just 'cause your old man was a criminal, that wasn't any reason why...
You talk too much.
Nothing in the whole town but squares. Hawkins.
Hello, Sheriff.
Made you jump, huh, fella? You gotta be careful. Wear your brain out thinking.
I was looking for Mose Jackson.
Tidewater freight ain't in yet.
Who's the boy?
Jessie Hawkins. Her nephew.
Who?
Daniel Hawkins.
Ain't Yankee.
He's from Chinook. The mountains.
Tell him sit down.
You heard him, young fella. Sit down. Educated fella, that Mose. Engineer says he can read as good as anybody.
Better. Read about every book there is, I guess.
That's too many.
"7 minutes late."
Huh?
7 minutes late.
They ought to whip that engineer. Who's that fella just got off?
Where?
Yonder. Last car. You blind? Black suit. Preacher, undertaker, detective.
Town don't need any more preachers and undertakers. What use would we have for a detective?
Peculiar animal, ain't he? Ain't no telephone in there, mister. Cab driver will be here soon. Always is when the train comes in.
Talkative cuss, ain't he?
Maybe Uncle Joe was right. A detective.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Mr. Sykes.
How do you do? Well, I'll be hung for a witch. Old J.B. Sykes helping somebody.
Must be an important guy.
What do you suppose a banker wants a man like that for? They tell me young Sykes ain't been seen since the dance Saturday. J.B.'s been asking around. Think Jerry's up to something?
How'd I know?
Guess not. Reckon you wouldn't care what happened to Jerry Sykes times he's licked you. Figures his old man being a banker makes him somebody. You'll catch up with him one of these days. Detective. Here's something to figure.
Gilly,
Dan. You're trembling.
I've been waiting since 2 o'clock.
But I told you 3. I have to be at school for this. I can meet you after that.
Let's walk.
I know now why Jerry didn't call me on Sunday. Dan, I'm worried. No one's seen him since the dance and...
Are you in love with Jerry?
Oh, how could I be? Danny. Danny, I don't understand anything. Why are we meeting in secret places as if we were hunted? Why, Dan? What is it in your eyes that you never say? It's like being in a long, dark tunnel.
Why do you say that?
The way you look and act and talk. Where will I meet you tonight?
Blackwater?
The old mansion? Isn't that where Mose lives?
He's out in the back. They'll never know we're there.
Danny, I hate this. What are we hiding? You make me feel guilty when I've done nothing. Danny. Danny, why don't you tell me I'm crazy or upset or that there's nothing to be afraid of?
That's right. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just keep saying it. There's nothing to be afraid of. Mose? Yes?
Look at Mr. Dog. No manners. No manners at all. Where have you been lately?
All around. I figured I'd come over and find out when we might go hunting for coon.
A couple of fellas from the lodge asked me yesterday to take him out. If the air stays clear, I'll have to take him out tomorrow night. Railroading isn't going to feed Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog. Why do you call everything Mr.?
There isn't enough dignity in the world. Come here, I want to show you something. She did her duty by the dog race.